Nice. Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing great. I assume earbuds are on. Hopefully they are. You're doing really good, Mom. Huh. Yeah. He's just. Nice. Good boy, Cammy. Thank you, Grandpa Polly. Polly's not here yet. The camera's on, but you're fine. You can walk in front of it. No biggie. Thank you. Would you rather walk or where are you going? I'll trade you, Polly, if you want. You want to film? I set everything up, so. Hmm.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, do you have the mic, Mom? Molly, can you hear Mom or do you still hear me?
I hear you.
Oh shoot, we switched ears even. This thing outsmarts us. It wants us to switch ears, Mom. I'll come. Can you? Nice. See if I can get it in. You got him for a second? Yes, yeah. Okay. Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Let's see, let's see.
It's so funny how the earbuds work.
I I have I am not tech savvy. Not with this kind of stuff.
Did Beth figure out how to turn the volume up on it?
Not yet. We'll have to find the instruction booklet when we get home. I know with
Okay.
these that there's something about the way you touch them on the side,
Mm-hmm.
and you can cancel noise canceling. You can mute. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's just, yeah, a little bit
They're
above my
fancy.
pay grade.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love my aftershocks.
You know, I wish we had bought those. Do you have the open ear ones?
Yeah, that's what they are, the bone conducting. The
Yeah,
only problem is like Beth can hear your lesson right now,
yeah.
but with the aftershocks,
Come on.
you would be the only one that could hear. So
Oh,
you, you're doing the right thing for this.
okay. Hello?
Yeah,
Somebody just walked into the arena.
we have friends.
No.
No.
Oh, do you guys have the arena this evening? Oh, okay. All righty. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's gone. He's supposed to meet
Okay.
somebody with a load of artificial turf.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Beth, can you point the camera down just a little tiny bit? Cause there you go. Yeah, because it just gets really dark at the end with the light coming in. That's perfect. So Lynn, tell me about who you're riding and what. I've never seen you ride. This is fantastic.
I know. So this is Beth's horse Cameron.
Okay.
He's the 17 hand KWPN that Beth, was he third level? He was either third level or above third level. We've had him for several years. I call him Baby Huey. I don't know if you remember the cartoon Baby Huey.
Oh yeah, I do. Yep.
Okay. Cameron is Baby Huey. Um, so I don't trust him 100%
Yeah.
because he can be quite silly.
Yeah.
Um, but he was taken out of work. December was a year ago. He had a keratoma in the right front foot. And so he was out of commission for quite a while. And then his arthritis was flaring, and we thought we were going to have to retire him. But he's done so well the last couple of months. We were like, you know, let's bring him back out. And we got him started on Cam, You Can't Stop. Come on. Um, we got him started on Zycosin, and I've been giving him the foresight, and he gets an Equiox every day.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
those things seem to be keeping him pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
He is a lot of times behind the leg. Um, but I can learn a lot from this guy if all of you
Yeah.
ever do is walk.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, you were getting ready, so you didn't get to hear me say to Beth, but one of the things that I think about is like if you're showing at first level, the horse is first level at the canter, they should be second level at the trot and third level at the walk. So the walk is where you really teach them everything, and because we don't show like half pass at the walk or shoulder in at the walk, and
Right.
so we use that to be able
Come
to
on.
clarify our aids and do some troubleshooting and problem solving because it's okay if we mess it up in the walk because we
Yep.
want to feel like when we do those things at the trot and the canter that we do them right every time we do them. So there's actually a lot of times that when I'm riding, like I might feel like, oh, this doesn't feel good enough. I come to the walk, I try and clear up the communication and then try it again at the trot or the canter and
Okay.
see if it's better. So let's run through, since he knows a lot of the stuff, let's run through some of it at the walk. It'll help warm him up quite a bit, actually.
Okay.
So if he can do all of the lateral work at the walk, you're going to be suppling his whole body. So
Okay.
let's just start with a halt. And
Hold.
in the halt, just have him back one stride. See how he roots the reins out of
Yeah.
your hands?
Yeah.
So you're going to ask him to take just one rein back.
Come on.
Tap with your leg if he doesn't go. There you go. And then walk on and try to maintain the
Come on.
frame. So we're going to do a halt at every letter, one lap around the arena, and he'll take
Okay.
one step backward.
Mhm.
Yep. One
Come on.
step, buddy. See how he
Come on.
halts and leans forward?
Yep. Come
So we
on.
got to show him how to shift back on the hind end. This is that's the frame and the balance we're looking for. So that's actually called a school halt, when you halt and you shift the balance back.
Okay.
But we don't bend him for that. We don't swallow a broom. He doesn't get to do that. Yeah. If he's going to stick his nose straight out, I want you to bend him.
Okay. Come on.
Like nose, like a carrot stretch, like turn his neck. Like right there when he sticks his nose straight out, bend him. Yeah, there you go. So he may have to go around with a little more bend than what you would want on him. Then we
Mm.
make your halt. If he sticks his nose straight out, you can bend him the other way if you want, but don't let him get straight on you. And then just one step back. Yeah, see, you have to shorten your reins. That's what we want.
Back. Come on.
Come on, bud. There
Good
you
boy.
go. Good.
Good
Okay,
boy.
don't throw the reins
Walk.
away though.
Okay.
Keep the
Walk.
contact because you're trying to set him into the posture you want him in.
Okay.
And then
Walk.
lower leg forward at the
Come on.
girth, lower leg at the girth. Yep. He says I can't
Cameron.
go with short reins, right?
Let's go.
Says
Come on.
maybe Beth will give me a cookie.
Yeah, he does like his cookies. Come on.
He's Dutch. Of course he likes his cookies.
Mm.
That's it. Yeah.
And back. Come on.
Just one step is
Come
all
on.
we need, and then you stretch up and put your leg on to go forward. You don't throw the reins away. We don't want him to think pulling is go backward and giving is go forward.
Okay.
Right? So close your thigh and sit down to halt.
Oh.
Tip your
Mm.
pelvis so your crotch goes down. You have an arch in your back and use a little bit of leg. There you go. And now you tuck your tailbone and use your leg at the girth to go forward. Yep. And then bend him for sticking his nose out. And then we're going to leg yield across the arena. So a
Come on.
little counter bend and across the arena.
Come
So
on.
he's third level. He should make it at B. Boy, yeah, over there. Okay, so think about what would a rein back feel like? He's got to put a little weight back to the hind leg in
Okay.
order to go sideways.
Am I going to my left or to my right?
To your left.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yep.
Come on.
All the
Yeah,
way
I hear
across.
it.
Yep. You're going to
I
use it to
hear it.
change your direction. Oh, what's going on?
Wind. There's big
Oh,
louvers on each end, and
oh
that's why
yeah.
he's
Oh,
spooked. Come on,
yeah.
you're
Look at him
fine.
looking at it. Oh, buddy.
You're okay. We're good. Come on.
Yeah. Give him a little
Good
scratch because
boy.
that's a good leg yield too.
Good
And then
boy.
we can keep walking past C and then we'll halt at the letters this direction. But
Okay.
we won't make them stop right under that louver.
Yeah, there's one on each end, and that's what he
Yeah.
spooked at earlier because it was a huge gust.
Yeah, he
Come
was
on,
really
walk.
scared.
Yeah, he was. Ooh, good boy. Back. Come on.
Yeah.
back. Good
So
boy.
that's the frame we want him to keep. See how you're throwing the reins away to
Yeah.
stop him from backing up?
Okay.
Keep the contact. Tuck
Walk,
your tailbone
walk,
underneath you and bring your lower
walk,
leg forward.
walk. Come on.
Keep the contact. Yep. He's got to learn to take that contact. Yep. Bend him when he sticks his nose straight up like that. Right leg, right rein, or left leg, left rein. It doesn't matter, but just
Okay.
break up the stiffness by turning his neck. Yep. And then halt.
And good boy. And back.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
Good
And I wouldn't
boy.
even
And
say back because we
okay.
don't really want to back up. We want to get him off the forehand.
Okay.
So I don't want him to think we're backing and going forward because you did 4 steps. I want only one.
Okay. So just more of a shift.
Yeah, so it's called a school halt where you halt them and you sit them down behind. He's not ready for a school halt, but you first produce it
Okay.
by halting and you give the aid of the rein back. And as soon as he shifts back like that, you walk on.
Walk
You
on.
don't
Come on.
do, but you see how you have to throw the reins away to walk on?
Yeah.
You have to be able to keep your contact. So I would bend him, like
Okay.
turn his neck like a carrot stretch. Like even now, I would bend him. He's too straight. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, like that. And now you add your outside rein to rock him back. There, and then you walk on with bend so that he
Walk.
doesn't stick his nose out.
Come on. Let's go.
Yep, right leg, kick, kick, tap, tap with the right leg, tap, 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 tap. There you go, there you go. See how we kept the frame?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll leg yield across the arena. So you're using that leg yield as a change of direction.
Okay.
So you get
Come on.
left flexion or left bend. Don't let him be straight.
Come on. Cam. Let's go.
Yep, bend him, turn his neck. Don't let him be straight. Be more obvious, turn his neck. Yeah, you see how as soon as you ask for bend, he starts giving roundness?
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and then add your right rein as a half halt like a rein back. There's,
Come on.
yes.
Come on.
Yep,
Good
both
boy.
legs. Yep.
Come on.
Add your outside rein to the shoulder. He goes, oh, this is so hard. Good job, buddy.
Come
Good.
on.
Add your right rein so the shoulder's not leading so much. There it is. Yep. Little half halt on the
Okay.
right rein.
We're at the
Yep.
end and the wind is
Yep.
kicking up
Just
again.
turn.
So I'm
That's
just
fine.
going to
Just
turn
turn
him.
early.
Yeah.
Yep. No problem. No problem. But look at the frame. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the frame he needs. And you can't get that if he's not bending.
All
If
right.
he's not bending, you don't have an inside and an outside.
Okay.
See, now you have an inside. So then when you add the rein on the right, it does the job of an outside rein, which is the frame rein. But if he's just straight, all
Come on
your
back.
reins do is give him leverage to put the head more up. Yep. Tuck your tailbone underneath you. Keep the bending.
Come on.
Add a clucking if you have to. Is he better with the whip?
Yeah.
Or is he always,
He's
yeah?
he's better with a whip. He's better with spurs. Most of the time when I've ridden him, which I haven't ridden him a lot for the last year, I can get him going because my legs are so long.
Yeah,
And after I've booted him a couple of times, he's like, "Oh, she's not messing around. She means it."
yeah, yeah. That's it. And then use little right rein to just shift his balance back. No more than one actual step back. And now walk on. Cluck if you have to.
Walk,
Get up there, buddy.
walk.
Oh, good boy. Good boy. Good, but that's his frame. So keep walking
Okay.
because that's your best one. So we're going to move on.
Okay.
Okay.
Good boy.
So when you feel like you've made progress with something, the biggest thing you can do is move on. So we're
Okay.
going to make a 10-meter circle at the next letter.
Cam, come on. You act like you're dead, buddy.
Yeah, yeah,
Come
he
on.
does.
Come on.
So it's interesting, I think, because it's
Come
so
on.
windy, he's probably just being really cautious.
No, this is him. This
Oh,
is
okay,
this
okay.
is him.
If my horse, who's mostly Dutch, gets scared, he's really slow.
No.
Yeah,
Cameron is always, that's what I mean about being baby Huey. He's
yeah,
capable of
wow.
stuff, but he's like, yeah, the world just goes at a slow pace.
Yeah. Okay, so you have your bend. So now add a little bit of outside rein, like you're shifting him back. There. See how he gets a little rounder, but he has to
Okay.
walk on. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Walk. Come on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Walk.
So one of the things I like to do on these lazy walking horses
Yeah.
is if you need to give a little kick with, maybe break into the trot for a couple of steps.
Okay.
Yeah, so like let's just
Come on.
bounce him into the trot for 1 or 2
Come
steps.
on.
Just get out of that walk for a little bit. Yep, and walk. Yeah, so every time you feel like his walk is too lazy, if
Like
you
right
just
there.
break, yep, trot 1 or 2 steps. There you go, and then add that outside rein to bring him around. Okay, and so what those little jiggy joggy steps do is they do wake them up a little bit and they get them a little unstuck from the walk. But what happens in the walk, if you push and push and push and push to keep them going, the walk tends to go lateral. And you're not really making any progress on
Yeah.
getting him more
You're
sensitive
good.
to the leg.
You're
Yep, just
fine.
turn early. Yep, do a half circle and then go to the right. Yeah, yep, and now change that bend. Right leg, right rein. I would trot 2 steps. He's just behind you too much.
Yeah.
Come on, come
Come on.
on, come
Let's
on.
go.
And
2 up.
I always cluck when I do this. Yep, and keep the bend. Yep, and try not to say trot because we're not going trotting. So
Okay.
in the walk, they don't have any impulsion,
Right.
and when you kick, you're wanting impulsion. He's going to poop. You want impulsion when you kick, and so they're only trotting 1 or 2 steps to produce some impulsion. That's
Are you,
that's all that's about.
you got to
His
go,
tail
bud.
pretty. Yeah, guy
He's
there.
faking it.
He might have just had some gas.
He likes to fake a lot of things too. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He likes to pretend he has to pee when we're passing through the grass patch.
Oh, so he can have a snack?
Yes. And he will stretch out to the point he just about falls down. And it's like,
Oh my
yeah, no.
gosh.
Yeah. Is he just being a pill? Okay. Come on, Kim, let's go.
Yeah, he didn't even lift his tail on that one. Yeah, so
Come
trot a
on.
couple steps again. Kind of bounce your leg right at the girth. Go tap, 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 tap until he
Come on.
trots a couple steps. And I like to cluck when I do it. Cluck means impulsion.
You're
Yep.
fine. We're going to turn. We're going to turn a little
Poor
early.
buddy.
Come on, let's go.
Couple steps. Get up there, bud. There you go. And when you do that too in your warm up, you're starting to get the trot a little bit warmed up. Okay, that was a trot transition though. That you were
Yeah.
walking. Yeah, so we're not going trotting. If you're going to kick him in the walk, he needs to make impulsion. He only needs 2 steps to make it. If you go trot, teaching him, it means pick up a jog.
Okay.
We don't teach him that. We want to teach him that if I
Come on.
have to bump with my leg, you need to make impulsion. See, that's not impulsion. If you're going to bump with your leg, add a cluck, and he should break out of the walk to make a little impulsion. Come, come, keep tapping with your leg. Tap, 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 tap. Exactly. There you go. And then you just bend him, and the bend will be enough to help him want to stay walking, to come right back to it. But he needs more bend, like a lot. So, right? You change his whole posture,
Say that
and
one
then
more
he's too
time, Molly. I
slow.
lost you for a second.
It changes his whole posture when
Oh,
you
okay.
get some bending. Right? But then he's too slow. See, that's a good frame, but he's too slow. So then you need to bounce him into a little jiggy jog for a step or two. Yep, but bend him. You see how he has to get straight?
Yeah.
So that goes to his suppleness. So when we add impulsion, the horse naturally wants to become straight. A horse that's supple will be able to maintain bending when you add impulsion. So
Okay.
this is a way to add a small amount of impulsion and to start addressing the suppleness, the lateral suppleness. There we go. And then a little jiggy jog because he's too slow again. Yep, and then you bend him because he doesn't need to be straight. And you see, as soon as you bend him, he's going to be walking again, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, he'll be supple enough that he'll pick up that little jiggy jog and he'll keep the bending, and you'll have to actually make him walk. But usually, that happens at about the time that they understand that you really only want a couple of trot steps. So, again, if you
Come on.
have to kick, You're going to add a clock, and you're going to keep tapping him with the leg until he breaks into a little jiggy jog.
Come
See
on.
how you kind of give up a little bit. You give him 3 or 4 kicks, and then you give up because the walk feels big, but the walk gets lateral when it goes like that. There you go. And this will not teach him how to jog.
Okay.
What this will do is it will help bridge the gap to teach Piaffe, but it will not teach him how to break in your walk work. So all the time we're riding, we're thinking about training for the Grand Prix. And so, like right now, just to like you wouldn't be able to pick up a passage because
Right.
he's too much behind the leg. So making the walk bigger by pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing isn't getting him in front of the leg, is it? The way you've been asking him to walk bigger is not getting him in front of the leg. This little jiggy jog, you're starting to get a better walk in between. That's it. And it should get easier and easier to get him to break out of the walk because he's a little bit too married to the walk. Exactly. It's like he grows roots when he's walking.
Yeah, it is, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
it is. Yeah, no. And so this is a way to break that cycle. Bend him and jiggy jog.
Come on.
Yep. Come on, tap, tap, tap with the leg. Every time you cluck, your leg should bounce on the side. Exactly. Yeah. There you go. It needs to not be the same aid as a please trot.
Okay.
Because you're not asking him to trot. You're waking him up to the leg and in making impulsion. And in order for him to make impulsion, he'll have to bounce out of the walk. You're not asking him to trot, so you shouldn't use a trotting aid. Yes, exactly. See how it's getting quicker and quicker and
Yeah,
quicker? Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Exactly. Yes.
poor guy. He's
Yeah,
out of
that's
breath.
okay. That's okay. I know, because this is harder work like this, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
he is
so let's
so
let
out of
him,
shape.
yeah,
Can he
so
rest?
let's let him do a free, yeah, free walk across a diagonal.
Okay.
And this is actually going to be a good exercise for you.
Come on.
So at the end of the diagonal line, we want to come back to your medium walk. And this is a
Well,
trick to be able to do this. Come on,
come on.
buddy. Jog a couple
Come on.
steps. If you kick him in the walk, he needs to break. If you kick in the walk, he needs to
Okay.
break. So he needs to jog a couple steps because you just kicked him. He's safe. He'll be fine on a long rein.
Come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Till he breaks. There you go. Okay, so then he comes back to the medium walk, and what happens when you make short reins and ask him to come round and be in the medium walk? See how he pulls against you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to jiggy jog a little bit. Come on, keep bugging him till he gets there. Tap, 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 tap. Yeah, exactly. And then you bring him around. Yeah, see that walks a little better. Use that outside rein and a little jiggy jog again.
Come on.
But this gets the weight off that forehand because a good walk is on the forehand. There we go. There we go. That's a little energy. He's actually moving your seat now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then add your outside rein. We're going to do another diagonal free walk. And at the end of the diagonal, I want him to come round and on the bit,
Okay.
right? You feel how when you took your reins back at the end of the diagonal, it was like
Come
he
on.
swallowed a broom and just stuck his nose out?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Come on,
Wake him
walk.
up.
Walk.
Wake him up. Tap, tap, tap. Not walk. Get in front of my leg. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. There you go. Now bend him. Because we know that'll take him back to a walk, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, that'll bring him round. But right now, we know that if you touch his mouth, he's just going to shut off, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He
So we
likes,
have to change that. We have to change it without you being the one keeping him going. His job is to keep you going, right? His job
yes.
is when you say please walk, he should pick up a 5 mile an hour walk and get marching. Let's go. Yeah, so every time he's not walking 5 miles an hour, you're going to do your little, there you go, good boy. You're going to do that little jiggy jog because every time he comes back to the walk after he's broke, you get a few correct strides where you're not pushing him. You feel that right
Yeah.
there, correct strides, and you're
Yeah.
relaxing. And now he's shut off. You turn him back on again. Wake up, bud. Come on, get in front of my
Come
leg.
on.
Yes, exactly. Until he can be responsible for maintaining that walk. Because if he's not maintaining the walk, you don't really have permission to do anything, right? You're just
Yeah.
spending all your time blocking him from stopping. You're going to get him way more fit just doing all these little breaks into a jog.
And
You know,
honestly, that's kind of what really the goal for me was today, was something that I can do at home to start trying to get him more fit
yeah,
because he is so out of shape.
yeah, yeah. If this is getting him huffing and puffing, he's really out of shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There we go. Now add a little outside rein to work on the roundness. And that'll take a little bit of the bend away when you add the outside rein, but
Okay.
you want to feel like the softness still stays there. Like he's getting softer to your bending rein. Like he's
Okay.
kind of accepted that you're going to keep him crooked like that. So when you add the outside rein, you don't want to feel him get stiff on the inside. There you go. And then a little jiggy jog because he's getting too slow. And a lot of that is the stabilizer muscles. When they start to come round, they slow down because they're having to lift their thoracic sling.
Okay.
Every time you do a little jiggy jog, he has to lift his thoracic sling. So you're addressing the same muscles that he struggles with in the roundness by breaking out of that walk over and over and over. Okay, we're going to give him a long rein and we're going to do the ribbon candy exercise on a long rein. So he can have whatever frame he wants, but you're going to do that really tight turn, like nose to tail. Really pull on the inside rein and turn his nose. So the ribbon candy serpentine, yeah.
Come on. You got to keep walking.
No, he has to break to trot if you kick him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we just froze. Why did we freeze?
Beth, is
We're
it
froze.
froze? She said it's not froze on her end. Now Molly's froze. Come on.
You're frozen. Okay, lessons. Uh, let's see.
Did you get her back?
Wait, there you are. Okay, we're good.
Take my feet out of his.
Okay, can you hear me back over the headphones here?
Do
Oh, I
what?
don't hear you. Oh, there you are. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so we're gonna do that ribbon candy exercise, and what I want you to really think about, don't worry about his frame. I
Okay.
just want you to think about how much he can turn his whole neck and body in the direction you're going.
Okay. And from one side of the court to the other?
Yeah, kind of go from long wall to long wall. And
Okay.
just really think that you're just going to use your inside rein and
Okay.
you're going to try and take his nose toward his tail. Think of it like a
Okay.
carrot stretch. Just turn his nose all the way toward his tail and hope that his body follows. And if there and look up, you're coming across to the other side of the ring. Long wall. There you go.
Come
Okay,
on,
and then
big
you
guy.
trot a couple steps. Trot a couple steps. Wake him up.
Come on.
Yep. Yep, trot a couple steps. There you go. And now your turn. That's it. So every time he shuts off on you, you have to make him trot those couple steps, regardless of what else is going on. That's more important than making this turn.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. And then eventually, he should wake up to you and be able to make these turns and stay walking. But right now, he struggles with staying walking because it's hard for him because he's not supple.
Yeah.
Look how supple he's going to be if he has to trot the turn. That's his own doing.
Good
Yep, exactly.
boy.
Yeah, see?
Good
That is going to get him
boy.
more supple, right? Every
Keep
time you
walking.
come across that by accident, he's going to get way more supple. Yep. Think of nose to tail, all the way back to his tail. Where's his tail? Turn his nose. Turn it. There you go. Yes, exactly.
Come
That'll
on.
get him more supple. Yep. And he slows down during the turn, so the best time to trot a couple steps is right as you exit that turn.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to prepare and you're going to start bouncing the leg and cluck the tongue. Exactly. Because that hind leg is already under him at that point, and so it should be in a spot that it's easiest for him to be able to go forward. Once he goes straight, oh, what a good boy. So good. Once he goes straight, he's on the forehand and he just makes his neck longer when you tell him to go. But if he's in the bending and you tell him to go, he uses his hind leg, and that's going to wake up that whole back end of his. Yep. That's it. And see how it's getting easier to get him into that little jog?
Yeah, he's wanting to.
He's starting to kind of anticipate it now.
Come on. Let's
Yeah.
go.
And then what you want to start thinking about is could you start shortening the reins and bringing him a little bit rounder? Like by the time you get to A, would he be in a medium walk doing this serpentine? So keep doing your serpentine
Come on.
and yep, he's got to get in front of you. Get up there, buddy. Yep. And now nose to tail. Yep. Exactly. And then jiggy jog. Come on, buddy. Wake up. There you go. And then nose to tail. And then shorten the rein just a tiny bit. And jiggy jog. Get up there. Yes, good boy. And nose to tail. Yep. And then shorten the rein a tiny bit more. So that by the time you get to A, you've snuck up on that rein and he's rounded on the bit. Yeah, so you're going to start keeping a little bit the right rein as you take him to the left side.
Come on. You
I
can't
don't
stop,
want to go
buddy.
down there.
I know.
Yep.
You're okay, big guy.
Instead of thinking don't stop, think wake up.
Wake up. Come on.
Like kind of yes. Change your
Wake up.
thought process on that
Wake up.
one. Wake up, bud.
Wake up. Good
Yeah,
boy.
exactly. Yes. Okay. And then we'll go straight ahead and let's pick up your trot.
Trot. Trot.
And we'll just stay nice and straight ahead. We don't have to do anything fancy here.
And I'm terrible about picking up the correct diagonal.
Okay, well, guess what? We're going to come back to the walk. You're going to bend him to the inside, and then you're going to pick up the trot again. So every time you get a wrong posting diagonal, just keep it, and we'll
Okay.
do a transition. But you got to get back into the trot a lot more quickly than this.
Okay.
I want you to think of coming to the walk just long enough to change your posting diagonal. Think of the walk as your sit for two.
Okay. Trot.
Just take the diagonal he gives you. If it's the wrong, oh, look at that. If it was the wrong posting diagonal, you would ask him to trot a little bigger and get a little more bend. We're going to come back to the walk, and you're going to bend him. See how as soon as you trotted, he swallowed a broom. He went straight as a board.
Yeah.
Yeah, right leg, right rein. Yeah, a little bump with your right leg. Say, get over there. Why are you turning every time I touch the right rein? Yeah, there you go. There. And now back into your trot. Take the diagonal he gives you. We'll walk before the corner.
Come on.
Yep. See how we pulled on that inside rein? And that's why you don't get the correct diagonal. So walk, bend, and then immediately trot. And go. Yep, go.
Start she right.
Yep, there you go. Good boy. Right, that's going to help you with those diagonals. So the reason we get the wrong posting diagonal is because we're not feeling the correct hind leg pushing us up.
Okay.
And so you don't feel it because one, we'll walk again. One, he doesn't push to pick up the trot. And two, when you ask him to trot, he takes away any bend that he has and goes straight as an arrow and pulls with the front legs. And so you aren't going to feel that hind end. Let's come across the diagonal and trot that diagonal line. So you're not turning at the trot, so it doesn't matter what posting diagonal you end
Okay.
up with. Just be aware of what you get.
Come on.
Okay, so you have the right shoulder. We'll walk before the corner. You'll bend him to the left side. See how there's no bending. Left leg, left rein. Tap, tap with
Okay.
that left leg. Tap, tap with that left leg. Yeah, he's got a bend. There you
You're
go, and now pick
fine.
up your trot.
You're fine.
It's a great time to trot with the wind behind him. Yes, there. So you had the correct diagonal and you changed it. So
Oh,
this is why I say I want you to take whatever diagonal you have. Walk. It doesn't matter what diagonal you get, okay? You're only
okay.
trotting on the straightaways right now.
Okay.
Okay? So you get that left bending, use your left leg and say, "Wake up this left hind leg. Wake up."
Come
Yes, and then pick up your trot. I don't care what diagonal you get, just be aware of it and keep it. There you go. Good. See, when he's bending, you're going to be able to feel the leg. When he trots when you ask, we'll come back to your walk. When you trot when you ask him to go, then you're going to feel the leg. Yep, back to your walk.
on. Sorry about that,
Left leg.
bud.
That's right. That's right. Left leg, left rein. Tap, tap with that left leg. Wake him up on that left leg. There you go. And trot again. Yeah, left leg. Yeah, that's fine. And you still got the correct diagonal. You feel that?
Yeah.
Good boy. And then you'll walk again and you'll come across the diagonal of the arena. So this is the other thing that'll be really good for you to practice. You're not turning at the trot at all, right?
Okay.
Okay, you're going to practice your left bend and you're going to pick up the trot at F. The whole diagonal line is trotting. Let's go. Let's go.
Come
Come
on.
on.
Let's go.
He's almost to X already. There you go. So which diagonal did you get? Keep it, but which one did you get?
I don't know.
Walk,
So I'm
walk
on the
before
right
the
one.
corner. You're on the left one. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Okay,
Okay.
because you were making a left turn when you should have started trotting, but it took him
Come on.
almost to X to pick up the trot.
Yeah, I did.
Right? It took way too long to pick up the trot. Okay, so
Okay.
get your right bend, right leg, right rein. Tap tap with the right leg. Don't squeeze. Tap tap. Tap tap. You want him quicker? Use your aid quicker. If you squeeze with the leg, he's going to slow down. There you go. And now pick up your trot. So you see how long that takes for him to trot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and back to your walk. Okay, I want him to trot at the corner letter, at the letter K, a trot transition.
Okay.
You should start asking when his nose is there. He should be doing it by the time your leg is there. Keep the diagonal you have. Work on the right bending. Make it hard for him to carry you on the wrong diagonal. And then walk for the corner. Yeah, there's your bending. And then you're going to trot at M. So you should work on
Come
the
on.
bending here. Right leg, right rein. And then you should add left rein, stretch up, and he should trot. Add left rein, stretch up, and he should trot. He's not trotting. Do something about it. He was
Come on.
supposed to trot way back at M, at the letter behind you. Yes. Keep the diagonal and send him forward. Come, trot, trot, trot. There you go, and walk for the corner. So if you don't have the correct diagonal for the direction, you're going to always walk for the corner, okay?
Okay.
I'd rather you walk than have you sit for 2, because when you sit for 2, you're stopping the forward motion. We're going to
Okay.
trot the diagonal. That means he starts trotting at K, he's done trotting at M. He picks up the trot at K, he walks at M. Oh, that was better though. Good boy. That had a little energy, huh?
Yeah.
Good. And he gave you the correct diagonal. Walk, walk. There you go. And then your left bend. And he gave you the correct posting diagonal. So the diagonal line, you take the posting diagonal that matches the turn to get onto that line. So if you make a left turn to go on this diagonal, you would be posting on his outside shoulder, which would be the right one.
So
Okay?
pick it up here. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Keep the left bending. Keep the left bending. Left bending. That's right bending.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so we're going to walk this, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to come across the next diagonal at the walk, okay?
Come on.
So what I want you to think of is when you turn to go KXM, it's your long wall just being pushed across the arena. So if
Okay.
you're in the right bend in this corner, you would maintain the right bend for that imaginary wall that you're going on.
Okay.
The new direction starts at M.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the
Walk.
same as walking down the
Come
long
on.
wall.
You gotta walk.
You would have right positioning all the way down your long wall. Yeah,
Let's go.
use
Come on.
right leg. Yeah, and then just as you pass the quarter line, you would go new bend, new bend,
Okay.
new bend, and then your new diagonal, and then your new direction if you were trotting, okay?
Okay.
Right? Because your new direction starts at M, not at X.
Okay.
You stay in the old direction until you get to the end of your straightaway.
Okay.
Right? That's different for a lot of people, but this is important because if you're cantering this diagonal and you have to do a collection and a flying change at the end of the diagonal line, you have to hold the position for the lead you're on until after your flying change. Like when you watch the Grand Prix and they do an
Right.
extended canter across the diagonal, they do the flying change at the end of the diagonal because that's where the direction changes.
Okay.
Right? We don't do an extended canter with a flying change at X.
Okay.
We do that in I2, but you know, when all those extended canters in fourth level across the diagonal and the Pre-St. George, you change your lead at the corner at the end. And so we do the same thing in the trot so that we're used to that. Because we're
Okay.
training always for the Grand Prix.
Grand Prix.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're always training for the Grand Prix. Okay, so let's do that again in the trotting. Pick up your trot. 3, 2, 1. He should be there. If he's in front of your leg, it'll be that quick. Yep, you keep the diagonal you have, which is the correct one, and then you walk for the corner. And you work on that bending. And when he gets more fit, you trot your short wall.
Okay.
Right? But right
Okay.
now he's not fit enough for that. Right?
No, he's
Okay,
not. Bless his
yeah,
heart.
so you have your bending, so you add your outside rein to bring him a little around, and then you stretch up and you go trot.
Am I going straight or diagonal?
It doesn't matter, but you're
Okay.
trotting your straightaway, so he needs to be in the trot.
Come on. Let's go.
3, 2, 1, he should be there. Yep, keep that posting diagonal. Yep, there you go. Add your outside rein to bring him around her, and then walk for your corner. Yep, add your outside rein to bring him around her. Maybe play a little on it. Think of your short wall like a straightaway instead of a 20-meter half circle. Okay, and then you trot for your letter. 3, 2, 1, be there. That's it. Add your outside rein. Keep this posting diagonal. Keep it. Fight yourself and keep it. There you go. And then walk for your corner. You were going to change it, weren't you?
No, I was just trying not to fall off.
Oh. Okay, add that outside rein and bring him round her. You've got your bend. He bends really good this way. So you play a little on that right rein and straighten his neck a little bit and work on that roundness. Yeah, and trot.
Come on.
Come on, buddy. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, be there. That's it. Yes, there's our trot. Now bring him around with your outside rein. Yes, good boy. But see, he's starting to anticipate. Oh, I only have to trot the straightaway? So he's giving you a little more energy. Make this one your diagonal line.
Okay.
So we really want to feel like it's turn and go. Add that outside rein. Stretch up and go. And he stays in left bending. All go. Yep, that's fine. Yep, he stays in left bending all the way to the end. Yep, that's fine. There you go. And then you say new bend, sitting and walk. New bend. There you go. Yeah, and add a little bit of outside rein. If you can get the bend and he's got his nose stuck out, it's time for outside rein. But he has to stay active. See how slow he
Come on.
gets?
Yeah.
Yeah, bounce to trot for 2 steps. Or just pick up your trot because you're at your long wall. Yep, atta girl. I love the go now, though. He's warming up, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a good kind of no expectation type warm up also because you just trot
Come on.
straight,
Let's go.
walk the corner, trot straight, walk the corner, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I can do things. So this is a good way to help the older horses warm up.
Okay.
So you're going to add your outside rein as you exit this corner so that he's in both reins, and then you stretch up. Like I squeeze my butt cheeks together so my seat bones come out of the saddle,
Oh.
and my horse starts trotting. That's all I do is squeeze my butt cheeks, and my horse trots. If he
Huh.
doesn't trot, I come with a correction with my leg.
Okay. That's a new one.
Yeah, you want to take your seat bones out of the saddle. You want to lighten your seat. So thinking of lifting your sternum and squeezing your cheeks to lighten your. There you go. That should be the aid for trot.
Holy
That light
moly,
of an
man.
aid. Well, but you notice when you do that, it flexes your calves up against the side. Do you feel that?
Actually, I was just trying to get my butt cheeks squeezed.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. It's
God.
just a little bit. It's just enough to get your seat bones from carrying your weight,
Okay. Okay. I'll
right?
try
So
that.
feel that as you come out of the corner. And what happens to
Yeah.
your calves when you do that?
With my sternum. Squeeze my buns. Oh,
You
my
feel how
calves
that put
come
your.
on. Yeah.
Exactly. That should be the aid for please go. But look what he did.
He stopped.
He stopped and grabbed the reins, and you're giving him those reins. Turn his nose. One rein, turn his nose. Yeah, we don't do that. There you go. Now you can pick up your other rein and bring him straight, and then he can come to trot. He doesn't get to swallow a broom and just rip you out of the saddle. That's really
Okay.
rude,
Walk.
right? So every time he does that, you just turn his neck. You just make you're just making it awkward for him. You're not being harsh or you're not pulling
Right.
hard because you're just using one rein, and it
Right.
just makes it awkward for him to do that, and it'll break the cycle.
Okay. I'm going
Yeah,
to lift my
yeah.
sternum, squeeze my butt, and go. Go.
Yeah, exactly. Wake up, buddy. Yeah. I mean, this is where, like, I used to hear this all the time. They can feel a fly land on their skin. And, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, but he can't feel my leg. Why can't he feel my leg? Because I'm using my leg so much, he thinks it's a part of the saddle,
Okay.
right? They become dull to the leg because it's touching them all the time. So you have to take your leg off and let it become like a fly. And when you do touch him, if he doesn't respond, it needs to be a bee. It needs to like give him a like I think of it like a little sting, a little kick, a little tap, a little cluck of the tongue, whatever it takes to make them understand that this tiny little light leg that I just used, it means something.
Okay.
So I think ask, get it done. Okay, so you're going to stretch up, you're going to add your outside rein, then that's your ask. Now get it done.
Let's go.
Tap,
Come on.
tap with the leg and cluck. Yeah, there you go. Right? Because he's already starting to anticipate that you want him to trot when you go down the straightaway. And so now you make your aid a little bit softer, a little bit more fine tuned, and see if he'll listen to that softer aid.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So
don't
back.
let him die on the walk. Trot 2
Come on.
steps. Tap and cluck. It's not a trot aid. Tap with your leg and cluck with your tongue when he dies. He needs to jiggy jog. He's trying to poop. He needs to jiggy jog. Come on, he needs a jiggy jog. Make it happen. Follow through. Okay,
Oh,
now you wait until he's done pooping, and then you jiggy jog. And now, go.
I got
Go.
to put stirrup.
Go. Jiggy jog. Make it happen. Make it happen. Jiggy jog. There you go, and then bend up. Right? Okay, so horses that have to stop, we're not trotting, that was a jiggy jog. Remember,
Yeah,
it's a different aid. It's a
yeah,
different aid to make impulsion in the walk than it is to pick up a trot.
right.
Okay, so we don't want to just go with it and start
Yeah,
trotting because then you're teaching them when I kick you 9 times, it means to trot.
okay,
So horses that have to stop to pass manure are tight in the back. And so we want them to be softer in the back. So we want them to be able to keep trotting when they have to go. So if he can't move while he's going and you've already asked him to get moving, you need to follow through with that as soon as you think he's capable to move,
okay,
right? Don't let him stop and poo and reorganize and start walking and then eventually go back to what you were doing. What you were doing was you were asking him to go and then he stopped because he had to poop. And so you need to go right back to asking him to go at the moment you think he can give you a yes answer.
okay.
Right?
Come
It's
on.
kind of like he hits pause. Yep, and yep, there you go. And then you do a little bending. Yeah, and then when you're ready, you go trot again. We'll get a couple more of these trots in since he came to the abrupt halt on your
Pause.
last trot. Yep, exactly. Yeah, and work on the roundness with that outside rein. Yeah, and then more trot. That's a jog. Yeah, work on the roundness. There's your trot. Work on the roundness with the outside. There you go. Good. And then your walk. And then we're going to stay walking. Okay, so do you see how much work you end up getting done with all those tiny little transitions like that?
Yeah, and quite
Yeah,
frankly,
you're,
I'm tired as well as him. Quite,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. But you got a better quality walk by having him do that little jiggy jog
Yeah.
than pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing.
Okay.
And he's not going to build the muscle that you need him to build if you're pushing and pushing.
Okay.
He has to offer that. Just like when he started picking up the trot at the beginning of the long wall and he was kind of leaping into the trot,
Uh-huh.
he was pushing way more than he was in the beginning. He
Okay.
wasn't
Well,
it wasn't correct, but it was working more in the correct direction than what he was doing when it was taking him 15, 16, 17 strides to
okay.
wind up and pick up a trot
Okay.
because at least when he kind of was leaping into the trot, it looked a little like almost a canter step, but it matched in both directions. And so he's still really pushing off one hind leg and then the other hind leg. So he's going to build himself correctly by doing that.
Okay.
And then by only trotting on the straight lines right now, your posting diagonal doesn't matter a whole lot. I just want you
Okay.
to be aware, which one did I get? And
Okay.
if you feel like you're constantly getting the wrong one in both directions, it means that you're not working enough on bending him. If
Okay.
you find that you're constantly getting the wrong diagonal in one direction, you have a crooked horse that you might have to help him get more supple in that direction. So
Okay.
basically, you're bending in one way but not the other.
Okay.
Okay, if you have one diagonal that you always miss, he's bending one way but not the other.
Okay.
If you miss the diagonal in both directions, you're not getting any bending in both directions.
Okay. Come on, Cam.
Right? Because it's directly related to the bend. Because if he's properly bending, the inside hind leg is the one that he's going to push off of to pick up the trot. It will have the biggest push into the trot. And
Okay.
that's the leg that you're going to feel push you up out of the saddle, and he'll put you on the correct diagonal as a result of that.
That is so
But if,
cool. I've
yeah,
never heard that explained before.
yeah, so I learned that like as a 7-year-old, we were never allowed to post on the wrong well, we were never allowed to sit two for picking up the incorrect diagonal. We always had to walk for the corner and then pick up the trot again on the straightaway. So I learned that
Okay.
as a 7-year-old. I don't get wrong diagonals. I don't think I've picked up a wrong diagonal in 40 years.
Wow.
And it's just you get so trained to it, and you get to the point where you feel when the horse doesn't give you the proper push off, and so you just don't post. You just
Huh.
sit the trot, you work on the bending and the suppleness, and you just come back to the walk and you go again, so
Okay.
that you end up not catering to their need. If they give you a wrong diagonal, I like to stay on it and work on the bending, because then they go, wow, it's really hard to carry you on that leg when I bend like this.
Huh.
So then what starts happening is you work on the bending before you pick up the trot, and the horse will say, well, I need you to post on this shoulder so that I can carry you with this bend, and they'll throw you up on the correct diagonal.
I'll be there.
They'll do it for you.
That
And
sounds good to
in
me.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So to me, when I have one lady I teach, she's actually a professional and she has the wrong diagonals all the time. And I'm like, this is like pre-training level. You have to fix this. And you're not fixing it because your horse isn't laterally supple. And, 3 years later, she's still getting the wrong diagonals because her horse is not laterally supple. And I get on the horse, he never gives me a wrong diagonal. Not once,
Huh.
because I do all this stuff at the beginning to get him supple, and by the time he trots, he's bending correctly in the direction he's going, and he throws me up on the correct diagonal. It's really cool.
Okay. A lot of
Yeah,
times, like when I start pulling him out, like we're doing now, I'll start with just walking him for 5 or 10 minutes and do that for a few days, and then start
yeah,
extending it, and I just try to keep adding increments, and I try to do a
yeah,
lot of the bending, and
yep,
literally where I do pull their heads
yep, yep.
all the
Perfect.
way. Okay.
Yep. That's what I do on that ribbon candy exercise. A nose
Okay.
to tail.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And at first it's a 15-meter half circle, but as they become more supple, it looks more like a 6-meter half circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then when you go, wow, that's a pretty good turn, you move on. He's also a really good candidate for using the bands. Have you ever used those before?
No, I don't really even know what they are. I've heard
So,
of them,
y-
but I, you
yeah,
know,
yeah. So it's a saddle pad that has clips on them, and you use um, it's like an exercise band, and it clips onto that saddle pad. And there's one that goes behind the hindquarters, and then one that goes like where a back cinch would be on a Western saddle.
okay.
And and it helps them kind of tuck their pelvis and engage the core so they can go a little bit more forward, because
Okay.
he kind of has that posture stance where he drops his barrel,
Okay.
and so it acts like a dam so that he can't push forward from behind. So I don't think that so much of his laziness is that he's just this pokey dokey guy. I think some of it is that his posture makes it a little bit hard for him to go forward.
Okay.
And so the bands are super helpful for a horse like this. So one of the things you can do to find out if it would help him at all is if you have an ace bandage or a standing wrap,
Yeah.
and you just you can just tie it to the girth and
Oh,
do it behind the hindquarters, and just do that. And that's what we used to do before they actually came out with the system, and then they did all the research on it and showed how horses develop their core muscles by wearing them. There's a lot of research behind it. It was developed by a vet, but it was either Mary Wanless or Linda Tellington Jones. It was Linda Tellington Jones
okay.
originally developed the figure eight body wrap,
Huh.
and and then riders started using just the hindquarter one and held it in their hands. And when the horse got behind them, you just kind of pull on the bandage that's behind their hindquarters and kind of like you're pulling the hind end, like, come on, let's go. And
Okay.
it made such a big difference. Like Felicitas von Neumann, she has some videos where she just uses the polo wrap behind the horse's hindquarters, or she uses
Okay.
them at at the girth and holds them in her hand, and you can see her horses are amazing. But the nice thing about the therapy bands that actually hook to the saddle pad is that you just put it on and you leave it. And
Do you
it does
do you snug it up?
not a whole lot.
Okay.
So the amount of stretch that there's a whole mathematical thing behind it where you measure the horse and you do a percentage of how long they are and you slowly shorten it over time.
Okay.
Um, because you can hurt them if you do it too tight too quickly.
That's
And
true. My
so,
thought. Okay.
yeah, so I usually start out that the belly band stretches two of my fingers to clip it, and the hind quarter band stretches three of my fingers to clip it.
Okay.
That's it. That's all the stretch I do initially. And I don't go a whole lot tighter than that unless I have a rehab horse that's mainly walking.
Okay.
And then I'll do it so that it's as tight as their mathematics are. And what I found is that ends up that your snap is 5 inches below your saddle pad and for the belly one, and the hind quarter one, your snap is in the swirl of their flank. That's how much stretch you would have.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's, and to me, I think that's too much for trotting and cantering. And so I don't put it on super tight. But like right now for summer, because it's, we're not going to be able to work our horses a whole lot longer, because it's just going to be too hot. They're not going to have a break from the heat. So
Yeah.
I start using the bands at the beginning of May. So by the end of June, my horse can wear the bands for an entire workout. And then it gets hot, and he just wears them, every single day the whole time I ride him. If I can trot and canter that day, I do. If it's too hot, I just walk him. And he
Okay.
has stayed in shape to do festival the last two times, no problem.
Wow.
Yeah, right. It's like it really keeps him in shape. And I've done him a lot on rehab horses too.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so the Equicore one is super expensive. There's one that is made by Balance Bands that is much more reasonable, and I have a code for that one. So I'll post that one in our Strides
Oh, cool. Okay.
Facebook group. I'll post that one because I that one's a lot more reasonable. And then sometimes you can find used ones. The problem with getting the used Equicore is they will make you show a receipt in order to get new bands if your bands break.
Oh,
And
okay.
the type of band is really important because it has to have enough resistance, and the human ones aren't strong enough.
Hmm.
And so it's hard to find the right band. And that's, again, what all the research is on. And
Okay.
so you want to make sure that you're using the right type of band, and that equine balance band has the same band that Equicore uses.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and it's just Equicore's out of patent, and so we have other companies that are making them now.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. I'll post that link in a little bit for you.
And I appreciate the lesson. I really do.
Oh, yeah. I think this is a lot of good homework for you with him. I think
Yeah.
if you do this on him where you're not keeping him going, you make him be responsible for going, I think in 2 weeks you're going to be like, wow, we are in a whole different place.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can do this type of ride 3 or 4 days
Okay.
this
That's what I was going
next
to
week,
ask. How many
yep,
times a
yep.
week?
Well,
Yeah.
you could do it every day if you want to.
Okay.
You could do it every day. You really could. But if you're only able to fit it in 3 or 4 days, in 2 weeks, you're going to be like, wow, this is so much easier because of the muscles that you're engaging by doing all those little jiggy jogs and all those trot transitions.
Is there a particular mm, a range of time that like 30 minutes,
I
15
do it,
minutes?
I usually do cardio type exercise or a change in routine until I feel it gets better. And then usually you kind of bottom out. Like you felt like he started kind of getting a little bit worse because
Yeah.
he was getting tired,
Yeah.
right? So the goal is to not get to that little bit worse, but if you hit it 1 or 2 times, don't worry about it and just say, I just need to keep track of that. It was 26 minutes of this today. So next time, let me just do 25 minutes of it so that we end on the positive so I can reward him
Okay.
instead of ending on him being pooped.
Okay.
And then you're going to all of a sudden go, well, I got a lot of horse left at 25 minutes. Let's add 4 or 5 more minutes and see what happens.
Okay.
Five, 5 minutes might be too much. It might be perfect,
Okay.
right? I mean, you have to find the end once in a while or you don't know where it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you think about if you're doing 20 minutes of this, you're only trotting the straightaways and you're walking the short walls. It takes twice as long to walk the short wall as it does to trot the straightaway.
Okay.
So you're not doing 20 minutes of trot. You're doing like 9 minutes of trot, 8 minutes
Okay.
of trot, right? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it would
yeah.
really be nice to, I mean, he's a really nice horse.
He's a really nice horse.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think honestly that his energy is his posture.
Okay.
I do think it's his posture. I'd be curious too. I don't know if it's because he wasn't really forward very often, and when he was forward, I was not paying attention to this. But when he was really behind you, he's landing toe first. So is he too low in his angles? Because that will also make a horse be a little less forward.
Okay. Because we can certainly
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah, and you can take some pictures from ground level of his feet when he's standing on a mat or concrete or something, and I'll do the little markup thing that I do to show you like what his angles should be and what his angles are, and
Okay.
there's a little thing I do to line it up. So, and you could post it on the Strides group if you, on our private group if you want to. That's okay,
Okay.
and then everyone else can see it too, because I think Sarah and Cheryl would probably be interested in that. Claire already knows. I've done it with her horses before.
Okay.
But yeah, just take a picture of his feet from like have the phone so that the camera part of the phone where the lenses are is at
Yeah.
the on the ground, not at
Right.
the top of the phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just make sure that the phone is completely vertical, that it's not leaning at all.
Right.
Yeah, and then I'll show you how to you use the markup tool on it and the ruler and stuff, and I'll show you how to check what the angles are.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That
a
would be
good
awesome.
guideline. Yeah, yeah, it's a really good guideline. It's not as good as X-rays, but it gives you an idea if you're close.
Okay.
Yeah. He
Cool.
says, "I'm tired. I'm ready to go to
I know.
sleep."
He's, he's
What a good boy.
he really is. Like I say,
Yeah, he really is.
he's he's not the smartest cookie in the box, you
That's
know.
okay. He's a warm blood. What are his
Um,
bloodlines?
Becky, do you know what his bloodlines are? I know he's a KWPN. Um, I know the first woman who an RPSI. I thought he was registered KWPN. Oh, Beth says he's German. But the lady who owned him went to what the trainer that the woman that trained him. Beth got his old show records and stuff. The lady Beth bought him from, he was more horse than she could manage because he can be quite a bully sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, but we get along with him.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious what his bloodlines are. Look it up and let me know sometime.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah,
We will.
yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you guys have a good evening.
You too, and thank you.
Yes,
Cameron,
thank you.
you you have to
Hi.
walk to leave, baby. Come on.
Oh, buddy.
Come on.
All right.
Take care, Molly.
Bye.
Bye.
Yep. Bye bye.
All right.